Hello and welcome back to my garage and the Morris Minor 1000. Now I was out driving a week or so ago and I was sort of aware of some additional noises coming from the gearbox, and it suddenly dawned on me that in all of the years that I've owned this car, I have never personally changed the gearbox oil or the rear diff oil. So I thought it's time to address that and have a look at it. So this is how I got on. So I'm starting in the passenger footwell of the car. Behind the rubber bung, you'll see that is the gearbox filler hole just there, which has got a 3/8 nut on it. And I have already loosened it in good old-fashioned Blue Peter style. And then you can see inside, see the level of the oil there. The oil should be probably up to, I think, just inside the thread of that nut. It doesn't actually look that low, and it's looking pretty clean as well, which has surprised me a little bit, to be honest. The car now up on axle stands. You can see there's plenty of oil under there, which is perhaps helping keeping it as rust free as possible. But on this 1098 gearbox, this is the drain plug here. So the car on axle stands and a drip tray. I will use the same 3/8 socket to loosen that off and drain the gearbox. So the oil is now fully drained out. What I actually did, because I had time overnight, I brought the car back down again off the axle stands and just let it drip, because I found that actually whilst it's up on the stands, the oil does actually get caught here. So by letting it down, I did actually get a bit more oil out. So anyway, I'm giving it a bit of a scrub and we can get the plug back in again now and start refilling. The other thing I noticed is inside the drain plug in here was absolutely full of gunge. So I've given that a good clean up as well. So let's get that back in place. Back in the car, I've treated myself to a nice new funnel. It's got a long hose on it. It's even got a filter in it as well. This has just come from Halfords, but that stretches right down into the filler nozzle as well. And I've just put a drip tray in over the carpet as well, just in case. I'm refilling with the same 2050 engine oil, and it needs, I think it's just under 1.3 litres. Or those who still measure in old money, that's 2.25 pints, which for me luckily happens to be 2 of these. Let's get one in. Exactly half what I need. I've got to just check underneath, make sure there's no leaks, no drips. I have dropped the car back down again to the gearbox is level, but I can't see any drip in there. As you can see, I've still got the bowl underneath it just in case. I think we're good to fill up the other half. I'm not sure if you can quite see that, but the level is just below the thread, which is perfect. So now we can get the plug and the bung back in. And now I've got to try and get it in without dropping it on the floor. Oh, I didn't think it was going to be that easy. Job done. Okay, with that gearbox oil changed and nicely refreshed, it's time to head to the back of the car and have a look at that diff for the first time since I've owned this car. So right, I'm under the car now, and the next job is to drain the axle oil. Although looking at the car, it looks as though it's doing a pretty good job of draining itself. So there should be the drain plug here, and I believe the filler plug is up there, which looks a bit awkward to get to. So I've treated myself to a new tool, and let's be honest, who doesn't like buying a new tool for the garage? So that should fit up in there, but it doesn't. It actually doesn't. Oh, well, that was a waste of money then, wasn't it? Okay, so a bit of digging around, I seem to have found a bit more. So this thing up here is an air admittance valve. That one is the drain plug, as I knew. Now I was expecting the filling plug to be around here somewhere, but it's actually found it. If I can get the camera in there, up here. Now my new tool doesn't quite go into the hole as far as it should do, so I have given a liberal spray just to try and degrease it all, and I might just leave it. The grease seems to be dripping off of it nicely, and give it another go tomorrow. So I don't want to drain the oil out yet until I know I can actually loosen that. Take 2. That still doesn't want to budge. Take 3. 3/8 drive. take 4, got a different 3/8, tried the half is definitely too big, and if this fails then it's definitely going to the garage. They might have more luck with the ramp as well. Oh, well, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. That is the fill-in plug. I don't know whether it's filled up too much, but that looks very black. And if it's at that height, I would suggest that maybe there's too much in it. Or it could be because I've got the back jacked up. So come to refill it, I might end up jacking the front up as well. I'll get it up on 4 axle stands just to try and level the car out a bit. But look at the state of that oil coming out of there. That's incredible. Now I know I can refill. I will undo the drain plug that's underneath. I know that I could undo that because that was moving before. I did not want to undo that if I couldn't get the refill done. Ah, now stupidly I've come with no gloves. Clearly I was expecting to fail. I didn't even put the gloves on. Alright, let's get that drained out. Wow, and I can actually hear the air sucking from the air admittance valve. But my goodness, look at the state of that. I don't think that oil has been changed for some time. So oil for refilling the diff, I'm using the classic gear oil, which is 90 EP, SE90, and it's GL4. That's what's recommended, I believe. And to get it in place, I bought this pump system. So it just literally take the cap off the bottle, it just goes in, and then pumping this down, you can see it starts coming out, goes into the tube. And this particular one came with 2 different lengths of tube, so we'll see which one is easier when I get down into the car. Alright, I think we're about there. So I might have been a little bit overfilled before, because that should take a litre of fuel, and that should work its way around the diff and along the drive shafts as well. Well, that was 2 jobs that I have never done in all the years I've owned the car, so I'm really pleased that I managed to do it. It was a bit touch and go with that rear diff. I didn't think I was going to do it, but it also coincided finishing that off with MOT time. But unfortunately, we've got a fail, and that is just purely down onto the offside track rod end. The ball joint itself is actually okay, but the rubber is perished, and that is an MOT failure. So that just goes to show that although these cars are MOT exempt, it's always worth getting someone else to have a look at it. So I've already ordered up the part, and I guess that'll be the next video. So until then, thanks for watching.